How's it going, everybody? Got a nice stack of comics that I've been reading over the last week and a half or so. So we'll see if I can remember what they're all about. But most of them were pretty decent. Lots of fun. I don't know if anybody out there knows or goes to their LCS and gets their uh, the IDW catalog, the free catalog. But every now and then they've been putting posters in it. This was an awesome one again. Yeah, nice Casey Jones poster. And then the flip side is the Street Sharks cover where he's showing off his muscles. Yeah, I thought those were cool. So if you haven't got yours, get to your LCS and get your free IDW catalog before they are gone. Then we got DC Comics Presents Superman and Ambush Bug. I love Keith Giffen. I love Ambush Bug. And I just went to see the Superman movie, the new one, yesterday, which I really enjoyed. And so I pulled out a few Superman comics that I'm going to be reading over the next week or so that I wanted to check out. And this one I just picked up, just got, if you watch one of my latest unboxings, you'll see, I believe I got it from Cheap Comic Collector. But this is number 81 of DC Comics Presents, and Cobra's part of the story. And Ambush Bug wants to get Soups a present, so he gets some jewelry made by someone. It's kind of, you can tell there's something going on. But this piece of jewelry here looks like a big red ruby necklace type thing. But that's that's actually red kryptonite, and our heroes swap places. So Ambush Bug becomes Superman, and Superman becomes Ambush Bug. And throughout the story, it's just so much fun watching them portray the other characters. It's like at one moment in here, we got Ambush Bug. Of course, yeah, there we go. Calling the DC offices, complaining about the merch, the Superman merch, complaining about other characters and stuff like that, bringing up stuff about DC Comics, and just fun seeing a comic pulling out that it's an actual comic and resorting to that storyline and stuff. And we get Ambush Bug for a while, dealing with Soups. Well, Ambush Bug in Superman's body is having the hardest time controlling the powers and stuff, and he at one moment decides, well, he doesn't decide, all of a sudden he starts super speed running, and he just keeps going around the world. He can't stop himself. He sees this bald character and thinks the initials KK are just hiding LL for Lex Luthor, but in reality KK is for Cobra's name. And Ambush Bug didn't realize that off right away, but then once he transforms to his Cobra character, then you start to notice you find out what he's dealing with, who he's dealing with, and just everybody's having problems. Superman's trying to use Ambush Bug's teleportation abilities to get himself somewhere, or by Ambush Bug, or somewhere that he's can control himself, help out people, try and learn more about the character's abilities, how do you teleport and stuff like that, and just all of a sudden at one moment something's going on and ambush bug. Soup's in the ambush bug body. uh, Finally disappears and teleports, but he ends up in the middle of the ocean. Doesn't know how to choose where he's teleporting. At the same time, ambush bug in Superman's body is dealing with Cobra, but ends up lighting up uh, the whole lakefront area, uh, and the fires are headed towards the city and stuff, and they got to stop it. And just it was just really fun, goofy, well done, Keith Geffen, ambush bug style story, and these are my type of comics. I like to have a little goofiness in my material, but yeah, I was so happy I picked this up, especially on the week that I was gonna go see the Superman movie, and so that made my week right there. That was just a really fun, goofy little parodies, little crossovers with coming out of superhero world and coming into the real world and crossing over, kind of like talking to people from the real world and playing around. I don't know why. I think I just forgot to take this off my list. So I was thinking a fun sketchbook type thing, but I expected more like layout pages and stuff in here. And then you could just put your own visuals in there and make your storyline. But they had a Fairy Comics book, but it comes basically all blank pages. I mean, it's like, if I would have known that, I wouldn't have wasted my money on it. I was just hoping for panel layouts and stuff so you could play around and make your own story out of it. Then we got Geiger number 15, which I like picking up the wraparound covers. And in this episode, we see the moment where the bomb's going to go off. Geiger's trying to use his ability to absorb the stuff from the bomb and everything. We find out what's going on with the rest of our characters. Junkyard Joe, our knight, the critters, and all that stuff. Are they going to get out of the range of the bomb going off? Probably not, because they pretty much have minutes before the bomb goes off when they realize it. And so when Geiger decides to absorb the bomb, she realizes it's going to kill him, more than likely, by the time he absorbs all that nuclear radiation and everything. And so he also, during the event, absorbs her essence, and she goes back to being herself, but realizes what's going to happen, and they gotta figure it out. Otherwise, everybody, all the critters, all the people around them, are going to be wiped out completely. And we also get introduced to another uh, character in this issue. But yeah, if you're not reading this, you're missing out. This is a nice new concept to a story, and very interesting and very well written and drawn. So check that out. Gunslinger, we're up to issue 44. I think the last two catalogs I stopped ordering Gunslinger. I don't know, I might have stopped ordering Spawn also. Just wanted to take a break. I figure the storyline's hitting a main point again, and it's starting to change up. We're going to see a new player and all that stuff. But we just seen a new player, this giant behemoth that just appears out of the water and starts coming towards the city to destroy everything, and they got to put their crews together and prepare to fight. But at the same time, we have Gunslinger in battle, in a battle with someone, and then he's also dealing with the Angel character that's got other plans, and someone happens to have plans for our Angel character, and she appears and comes in, and a bunch of stuff happens with him, while Gunslinger is kind of taken in a different direction, but then comes back and to help him, and someone from the past happens to reappear in this issue. I don't really want to say any names or anything. I don't want to give anything away where it's headed, but at the same time, is it really headed anywhere else? Because Spawn is, well, basically, what's her name? The Scorched Gal. She's basically telling Gunslinger to just quit doing what he's doing and get his ass to the lakefront and help them with this creature that appeared. And hopefully, he will go join the rest of them, and we'll see an awesome battle probably next week in or the next shipment in the Spawn comic, at least. I think that's going to lead up to having all the characters together again for a big event. So hopefully that's the way it goes, at least. But I have a feeling some of the characters are going to be like, screw this, I got other things going on, and they're going to stay off the burners and just basically deal with their stuff in the background and leave everybody else hanging. But hopefully they'll take care of it. But I am looking forward to finding out more about the kaiju beast in the upcoming Spawn issue. So we will see what happens. This I thought I read a while ago, but apparently I didn't. The Megalomaniacal Spider-Man. These are always fun, parody style comics. And in this, you basically see all of Spidey's history redone in a fun kind of Spidey's like down and out, thinks he's a loser, thinks he's having all these issues that are going through his brain, and he's just not himself in this, but yet still dealing with his enemies. You got Doc Ock in there and stuff, and battling away while also you got Jonah Jameson and stuff getting down on him. You got his loves of his life coming down on him, just trying to get him to get his shit together and become the Spider-Man they once knew and loved. But yeah, he's just constantly running off, whining, just not understanding his life, just not a happy person. But yeah, it's fun watching what they do in here, the parodying, it's basically Spider-Man origin story just put to a hilarious parody style uh, storyline. But lots of fun. This one I don't even know if I can remember what it was about. Mosaic from Sirius. Let's see if these pages pop back at me. And the artwork's a lot of fun. It's just great black and white. This is book one, written by Kyle Holt or Hotz, Hotz. Uh, regular cover. Oh, that's the cover colors. It's lettered by Kirk Lindo. I guess Kyle Holtz did the illustration. But yeah, you got a whole. I mean, there's just so much going on in these pages with this wonderful artwork. Uh, I'm trying to think what this character was about. It obviously didn't stick with me enough. But yeah, he's just trying to save a girl, dealing with an entity in here, but I just cannot remember the heck the whole basis of the story was about. It's like you got kind of a Frankenstein thing going on in this. Oh, it did not leave an influence on me other than the artwork. I just love the artwork. That's why I decided to check it out. But I can't think of what the overall story was about. I'm gonna have to read it again, I guess. Maybe bring it back. Uh, this one I just got Mr. Cream Puff #1. I like picking up any of the fat characters just to see what they did with them because there aren't many of them out there. It's like poor guy's flying around, sees a Goodyear blimp and thinks it's his mom. He doesn't know how he got to where he is, who he is, and stuff like that. Tries to save someone that uh, a reporter that's in a helicopter. The helicopter's about to crash. So our character grabs the front of the helicopter and tries to stop it from plummeting to the ground, but it still goes to the ground. But he's in front of it, so he just explodes, and you pretty much got cream puff all over the helicopter. And the reporter's like, "Oh, Mr. Cream Puff's dead." He's basically all over the area, and we find out that uh, that's kind of like his ability. He can get destroyed and come back to life. And then we see that there's some evildoers that are after our cream puff character. And even in this one, you had a little bit of uh, parodying and stuff like that. Some fun, goofy things that they did in the story. Just make it lighthearted and fun. But we find out in the origin story of Mr. Cream Puff and find out how he came to be. It was a character that happened to be near an accident that happened at a day old bakery. And so that helps our character understand more of who he is, and he can focus more on learning more of his abilities and stuff like that. And he can fly, he can explode, he can do a variety of things, but doesn't really know for sure his overall potential. And I really want to say who appears in the end of this issue. And it is an old comic, and you're probably not going to find it, so what the heck. Final page spoiler, I'm going to give it away. But uh, evil female shows up by the name of Dairy Queen. So I got to find out what's going to happen between Mr. Cream Puff and Dairy Queen. I hope I can find more issues of that. Uh, Probably not, or it's going to be very, very hard to find them. I'm sure there wasn't a ton of these printed out there, but I liked it. That's my kind of story. I read it thinking it was going to go in the sale pile. No, it's staying. Now this one we reviewed digitally not long ago, so I'm not going to get too much depth on it. But we got Tomorrow Girl meets Megaton Man in issue 12 of Tomorrow Girl. And if you know Tomorrow Girl, she's got super strength and other abilities, but her super strength's one of the main ones. And if you know Megaton Man, he's also known for his super strength. And we see the characters in Megaton Man's not really himself. He's being kind of goofy, But we see this gal with the guitar. We find out that she's controlling Megaton Man, and she's gonna force him to battle Tomorrow Girl and take her out. And so lots of things happen. We also get introduced to another evil character in here, and it's just Tomorrow Girl fun. Like always, I still to this day say I am liking some of other stories that they throw in the books, but I would like to see the books just be Tomorrow Girl. Just give her the extra pages. I mean, they could have easily written that Megaton Man Tomorrow Girl story and filled this whole book. But instead, we're getting Scarlet Phantom, which basically is a superhero character that can turn invisible. And when there's, I think it's a robbery going on or something like that, and all the characters are getting their butts whooped, but nobody's there, and then he appears, and you realize he was invisible, just kicking butt along the way. And a great character, fun stories, but again, I'd like him to have his own comic. Just leave the comic to one story and let him fill it. Another one that I would like to see a trade or a comic of is Tractor Lad. This gives us the origin story of how he gets his powers, what his powers are about. All he really wants to do is uh, help out his dad and drive the tractor, work the fields on the farm. And this gets us deeper on what's going on with Tractor Lad, and it's not really. I think the issue before this was the origin issue, and this one was basically showing him learning his more of his abilities and taking us on to something else that's gonna another cliffhanger that's gonna leave us hanging, waiting for more. But yeah, all three stories are great. But I'd like to see this Tomorrow Girl have her own comic. She deserves it. We don't have, she shouldn't have to share it with other characters. All those characters are great enough that they could represent themselves in their own comics. So hopefully in the future we'll see something like that. But otherwise, Tomorrow Girl. And next up, I think Tomorrow Girl starts working with Section 12 again. So I think I just got a message the other day from one of the creators, and it sounds like Section 12 runs through issue 13, 14, and 15. So, looking forward to the number 15. We just reviewed 14, so we'll see what happens. And we got Toxie Team Up. This is the Toxic Avenger. It's featuring the Toxic Avenger and Jesus Christ from the pages of Second Coming. And this was fun. I was debating on picking it up, but you get to see an evil entity appear. Uh, you start out actually with JC sitting there in court explaining things, helping the homeless, um, takes a certain type of sandwich and makes a bunch more to feed everybody and stuff. We see Toxie dealing with some evil characters, and he runs into JC, and we find out that someone's basically profiting from the toxic waste and trying to take advantage of the homeless people and get them to do social media things and stuff like that that's going to make him profit and just not going to benefit them at all, just going to harm them. by using all the toxic devices that he pushes in it. But then JC starts to, and he's trying to get Toxie not to rip people's arms off and destroy them as they do. But then he sees how people are manipulating other people, and that's hurting other people and causing problems. And so JC kind of uses TC or TA, JC and TA uses TA to kind of get back at some of the people that are taking advantage of other people and stuff. It's a lot of fun, but then you get a three-eyed toxified dog in here. I mean, that alone is worth picking it up for. But yeah, it was interesting how they did this. Uh, it was not what I was expecting at all. And then you had the regular cover and the Virgin cover all together in one copy. And our last one we're going to review today is Usagi Yojimbo 10,000 Plums, part 4 of 5. I didn't even realize it was that far along already. This one almost seems like a fresh start to the story, but our Usagi and his cousin decide to calm down for a night, get something to eat, get a bath, all that stuff. Uh, Sit in the soak tubs and relax, let the muscles heal and all that. Let the body heal, fill their belly. And while they're at it, they come across people of a certain religion that other people look down on. So we find out when they leave the village that there's checkpoints out there, and these checkpoints are trying to catch people that believe in their own in one religion instead of believing in all religions, and it ends up being a whole controversy between those type of people, kind of like it is in real life. It's just through the biggest problems in this world is politics and religion, and if we eliminated both those, our whole world would probably get along. And those are the biggest things that cause war and everything else. War and problems, war and grief in our societies. But this was a good story. This one could have actually been a standalone by itself, this issue. But liking the story, liking where it's going, but it's kind of like the first 3 issues could have been their own story, and then this one kind of like felt like it just started a new story. But yeah, it's the penultimate of that storyline, so we'll see what 10,000 Plums is up to after this. So keep following under the call of MS, rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, give us those likes. I'm sorry about my brain not absorbing Mosaic and remembering what the basis of that storyline was. I love the artwork though. I remember that as soon as I open the pages. It just reminds me of some of the stuff you find in heavy metal, 2000 AD, stuff like that. Just tons of things in the background, and that's what I love with my art. I love seeing little things that can catch your eye that have nothing to do with the story, but might bring you a thought or a memory of something from your past, or some type of parody of something that you would know that you've seen and been over the years. But yeah, sorry about that. I know the artwork is awesome. The story had to have been good enough because I put it in my keep file. So I plan on getting more of that story and find out more about it. But we'll see what happens. But keep following under the call of MS. Rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, give us those likes, leave a comment. I'll comment back. Check out Crimson Fellow Comic Club. Check out the Superman movie. It was fun. Unless you're looking for something serious and some team that's together yelling at each other, This is an actual fun superhero uh, film. Yeah, it's got some evil characters in it and all that stuff that happens. But yeah, I just it brought me back to my 1970s Superman stories, my childhood. Christopher Reeve Superman's. I don't care what anybody says. I like the third one. I like Richard Pryor. But yeah, that's it for today. And I'll be back with more of you soon. Thanks. Bye.